Hey, Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
You bet. And I know we both got Friday hats going on, so it's kind of casual Friday. I love it. Appreciate you making time. So listen, here's the backstory for those that don't know. I was recently at the Sales Mastery event, Todd Duncan, and saw you get up there and talk about video and what you're doing with video. And I was blown away because I'm a big proponent of video, and I'm always pimping, if you will, pimping video. But a lot of loan officers are reluctant to do it. And I'm curious if you had that reluctance and what got you over that.
Well, so no, not I didn't have that reluctance because I don't. I guess at the base, I don't really care. It's one of those things where it's just like you are what you are, right? You go out like right now. I go out to drop my kids off, that kind of stuff. I mean, people see me
Right.
as I am.
Right.
So if they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. So that stuff doesn't worry me. It's more of, can I help someone? Can I get my message out? And can I make it more efficient and really make the experience different? That's really what I'm focused on, not the other thing. I don't get worried about that. So for me, it was not a big deal.
Yeah, because the common thing I hear, and I'm sure you've heard, is I don't like how I look on video.
Yeah, and I don't know many people that do. I mean, and especially like we're not wearing makeup,
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
see these movie
We're
stars
Kaz.
and and they've got, tons of makeup on and all that kind of stuff. So of course you're going to look perfect. But I mean, realistically, people see what you are, and we're dealing with the community, right? We're not on the movie screen. We're seeing people out. So a lot of the people we're talking to probably know us or they've seen us before. So it's not something to get worried about.
Well, and the other thing too, which is I like about like how you and I look today, like you said, it's like this is who we are, right? I mean, people they're expecting that, right? They're not expecting. Look, well, let me say this, and we'll get to your like promo video. But there's a time and a place to be polished and professional.
Totally.
But if we're just talking about one-to-one communication and just like being authentic and in the moment, that's what people are okay with. You know?
No, and that's the thing is my elite guys always give me a hard time because like when we were in Punta Mite for one of our retreats, and the whole week I'm in shorts and flip flops and my Hawaiian shirt. And so when some of them saw me in my suit, they're like, "Wait, I almost didn't recognize you," that kind of thing. But there is a time, when I'm out in the community at certain events and I'll volunteer, I'm gonna be in my shorts and my flip flops, right? I'm out there for a cause. I'm not out there to sell myself. I'm nothing. I'm there because I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
Right.
But if I'm meeting with a client or I'm doing broker tour, I'm meeting with an agent, you're right. I'm in my suit. I'm dressed up. And if I'm doing a professional video, for a client, I'm going to be in my proper attire. But, something else, if I'm just volunteering, that kind of stuff, doing something like that, then just be who you are. I mean, don't even,
So you've been an originator for how long?
So I started in a wonderful time in July of '06, just as the market was
Lovely.
starting to crash.
Nice.
It was awesome. And my wife got me in the business. So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you've been made it through. Why did you start using video?
Realistically, so my degree is actually in radio and television, and I was an anchor reporter for an NBC affiliate right out of college.
You're a
That's what I
natural.
did. Yeah, no, I love doing that, and it was one of those things that when my dad got sick at the time, they didn't know what was wrong with him, and so I actually moved back from where I was, moved back to the Bay Area to be with them because I'm an only child. So I took care of my dad. When he got better, it was like, well, I'd already resigned from my position because obviously I needed to take care of my family. That's always come first.
Right.
But it was one of those things, well, do I go back to a small market and start it again? And at that time I'd met my now wife, Patricia, and she said, you know what, just give loans a try, because she had been a processor and just started getting into originating then. She said, you know what, just try out loans. Just give it a try and see how it goes. And, if you don't like this, do what you do. But, well, I'm here, all this time later. So yeah, it worked out pretty well.
It's weird. They say it's like once you get in the mortgage business, it's hard to get out.
Super hard. Absolutely. Especially once you have kids, really hard. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you enjoy serving people, right?
Oh, totally.
Because it's a great opportunity to serve people in so many ways.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you get to make a difference in people's lives, and then you also get to do so much good, because most people, if they work 9 to 5 out of town and then they come back home, they're tired, they don't really have much to do with their community, they don't get to know people. But with my job, I'm in the community all the time, so I know what's going on, I know the people, I know how I can help, I can actually help. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so when did you start doing video? How long ago?
Oh, that's a good question. I want to say like 2011, 2012, because I used the old flip cam.
Oh,
Remember
the
those?
flip, yeah.
Yeah, no, I started using those.
Pioneer.
I mean, it was just like, I just started, I was like, well, my base is how can I get information out? People would send out these mailers and these auto things, emails and all that stuff. And people got inundated with them and didn't care about them. They didn't read them. So the impact was nothing. So I said, how can I be different and do something that I already know? And so then I said, you know what, I'm going to try out the flip cam. And I initially actually started using video by doing video tours for my core group of agents. So they would get a house and I'm like, hey, why don't we just shoot a video tour? And so I started doing that. And then I said, well, why don't I do it for myself and start doing updates and giving my agents once a week an update of kind of what's going on in the market, not just with rates, but just overall home sales, pending home sales, you know, things that are impacting the market. Why don't I do that once a week? So I would get I got a tripod, a wireless lavalier mic, you know, the flip cam, and I would just shoot a weekly video. It took me forever to do, believe me, because I was standing up in my suit, you know, I didn't have a green screen, so I was doing that kind of stuff. But I did that as a weekly update, and so that's where it all started, and then it just evolved from there.
And where did you share that video? Was this online back in the day?
Yeah, YouTube. YouTube. It was still posted on YouTube. Yeah, just on YouTube, and I would send out, you know, here's the weekly update, and I started getting traction from there because no one else was doing it. And I'm in an area where, you know, we're a small market. I mean, Petaluma is 60,000 people,
right?
But you have two really big originators in this market, and it was one of those things where I needed to do my passion, and I found that my passion made me so different. And so my business was growing, even though there's another nationally, you know, known person in town in a small area. My business kept growing.
Are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
I don't need to name names. He's an awesome guy, but I'm just saying he's in my town, right? And so most people, when they see me, they're like, wait, Petaluma's got 60,000 people and you've got two kind of, you know, up there originators. I mean, granted, he's in another stratosphere, but I'm just saying the point is that my passion made me so different.
Yes.
And people got that, and that's how I was able to grow my business. And there's a lot more to it than that, but the video really was my passion, and that's what I instituted in my business. So yeah.
Well, okay. So let me do this. Let me break it down. What are you using for video right now? How do you record your videos, and what does that look like in an average week for you?
Yeah, so totally. So I do two different things. So my weekly updates now are done totally different. I use screen capture. So I use like Camtasia, and I'll just do a screen capture. And now I do a weekly update where I'll go over, you know, again, same kind of concept where what's going on in the market, what's causing, you know, existing home sales, pending home sales.
What are you showing when you do that? What?
Graphs. So I use graphs. I actually get graphs of the jobs report.
From KCM or KP.
Yeah, because I subscribe to KCM. Yep. I also subscribe to MBS Highway, right? Barry Habib.
Yep. Okay.
So I get a lot of my graphs, charts, information from there, and so I just go over it. I mean, I have my presentation put together, and I go over it, and that way it was doable because when I was filming them like in person, you know, stand-up shots, all that, it had to be during the right time. I had to write the scripts. You know, there was a lot more to it, a lot more editing. When I do the screen capture, literally Monday morning after I get back, that's the one thing I guess I do work on the Mondays, but when I drop my kids off at school, I get back, I do my presentation. So I go over what the market is doing, all that stuff, and it takes me about 5 minutes. And then it's really simple, cut the ending, beginning, post it on YouTube, and then send it out to my core group of, you know, my referral partners. So that whole process takes about 30 minutes. So that's one thing I do every single week.
Okay.
So that doesn't stop unless there's, you know, like we had the crazy fires last week.
Yeah.
I wasn't shooting a video that week for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And then the week I was at Sales Master, I didn't either. But generally, I'm really consistent on those videos, updates every week. So that's one thing. So screen capture.
Okay.
The other one I'll do is then I'll just use my phone, right? Using my iPhone, put it on a tripod.
Like right now, you're on an iPhone.
Right now.
Right? Yeah.
Yep, right now. So I'll put my iPhone on a tripod, wireless lavalier mic, and then go and record. And I'll record whatever I need to say or do, edit it, and then send it out. So
is that typically on a particular topic or?
Yeah, it depends. It's one of those things like so you saw at Sales Mastery what I call the big head video, kind of probably what it looks like now, but that one was shot strictly on my iPhone with my wireless lavalier mic. I sat down in the office, wrote the script.
Really?
Shot it, done. Yeah,
that was the milestone. Like, here's your appraisal. Here's what not to do. Yeah. Go ahead.
That was the thing with the agent, the cross-sell agent video. Remember that? That was the middle one. There was the promo video, the cross-sell agent video, and then the update.
Yes.
Talk
about that. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the cross-sell agent video, that was shot on just iPhone, wireless lavalier mic, and tripod. That's it. I mean, nothing too fancy.
Right.
Yeah.
But still very good quality, very acceptable.
Yeah, because you have the mic. I mean, make sure you have a wireless or, you know, mic, because if you don't, it's doesn't work.
Well, and you learned this from your degree, and like the two best things to help you with video are good lighting and good audio, which I don't have good lighting today, but well, the audio.
No, but I mean, but I mean, that's the thing, is that it's one of those things where you make sure the video is of solid quality. You know, if it's shaking too much or all over the place or you can't see anything, then forget it. Just make sure it's solid and make sure your sound is good. And a wireless lavalier or even cheap wired lavalier mic solves your audio problem, so it's not that complicated.
Yeah, and they sell all that on Amazon, as you know.
Totally, super cheap.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go back to the realtor video you mentioned, because that's one of the things that really jumped out about what I saw you doing. So the profile thing we'll talk about in a second, because that's the professional all about the Michael Regan team. But I really see so much opportunity for us to leverage video the way you demonstrated that in, one, the borrower thing, like the video you did, which, let's talk about that first, which is, okay, you just took an app, or your team took an app, and now they're going to get a video from you. So, and a series of videos. So take us through that.
Yeah. So basically what I want to do is, just to start with the concept, is I wanted a way to, number one, make the experience different from clients, but still have that tie, because I think a lot of people get too into technology and forget that this business at the core is belly to belly, relationship based, right? So that is my core belief, is that it is a relationship based business. So what I want to do is, but I also wanted to give a client a great experience. So I figured, instead of having a 20-minute conversation with the client every time, like say an appraisal's ordered, that I shoot a video that explains each step of the process. So like when we take an application and we submit it, we're going to send an update out to everybody to let them know, we submitted the application, appraisal's been ordered. But we get used to, in our business, of, okay, appraisal's ordered, we know what that means.
Right.
But something as simple as that, a first-time home buyer, I mean, really, I found that they don't know they don't get it. They don't know what it means, which is cool. I mean, they don't do this for a living. So what I did is I put the video together to explain what's going on. So what do I mean that the loan is submitted? What does that mean? What does it mean that the appraisal is ordered? And I let them know what this means, and then also what the next steps are.
Right.
So then they're fully informed, they're comfortable, they can watch it whenever, however, they want, and as many times as they want, to feel comfortable. And the cool thing about this is it gives them that service because they're seeing me. Right. So it's not like they're just getting an email. They're actually seeing me in the video. Right. And then also, it's one of those things, instead of having to have a 20-minute conversation about what is an appraisal and your loan submitted, it frees me up to do more, because I'm sending that video. They're getting all the same information, and they're getting that they see me, but I'm not having to explain myself 20 different times.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I also know in that particular video, if I'm correct, that same video, you talked about here's what not to do during the loan process. Like, don't open new lines of credit. Don't change your job.
Yes. Well, it makes it easy for us, right? We get so busy sometimes. Yeah. We forget the small details. Right. And then all of a sudden that happens. You're like, oh man, I forgot to tell you. Well, when you actually take the time to craft those scripts, when you put that video together, you make sure you don't forget anything.
Well, it's like,
so then,
I mean, you're obviously, both of us are disciples of Todd and High Trust, and then one of the things I remember he talked about in there is what's creating a 5-star experience, and what separates you from the competition. It's the experience your borrowers have and your realtors have, and I believe you also, when you're talking with realtors and you're mapping out what's it like to work with the Michael Regan team, you're also articulating this process that you give their clients.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the whole thing. When I meet with an agent, I have a whole presentation that I go through with them to show them exactly the experience that we put our clients through, but also that puts them and how we bring value to their business. And the whole presentation put together for that. But yes, I absolutely show them that process, and that is why I copy them into all those emails too. Even the initial, like, here's your needs list email that then has the link to About Us, the promo video essentially. Right. But I always copy them into it because they may be an agent I don't work with. Yeah. And so they're seeing exactly how I'm doing something that's totally different than anyone else, and bring value, bringing that connection to the client and experience.
So am I hearing that correctly? Like, back to that process, it's the first video. It's like, okay, your appraisal has been ordered. Are the buyer's agent, listing agent getting that video also?
No. So this is where I'm different from some of my some other people, is that there are people that will send updates to the listing agent. I don't. And I do that more for privacy client, because I've seen it kind of go nasty where you give the listing agent too much information. And then when they go to negotiate, then all of a sudden the listing agent's like, no, I know all your information. There's no way. So I err on the side of caution, is that I only keep the buyers. Agents. Seriously. I mean, but it is. It's one of those things. I never want to be the reason why a client didn't get something or put them in a bad position. So I explain that to my agents and they get it. But I do not send that to the listing agent. The only thing I send to the listing agent in terms of the video is I will send them, there's a congratulations video at the end when we fund that I'll send to them. But otherwise, no, I don't keep them in. That's up to between them and the buyer's agent. I stay out of that.
Well, I'm curious while we're on the topic, and this might be off video for a second, but do you have a cross-sell process for listing agents on a transaction?
Totally. Okay. Yeah, because well, the first thing we'll do is, when a client submits an offer, we're going to give that listing agent a call and say, hey, we pre-approve, do the whole kind of script we have with them and get to know them a little bit, just so they feel comfortable. So we will do that. And then after, obviously throughout the process, it's going to go great. We're going to actually close that deal and they can see that part. But the end of the transaction, they get the congratulations video. But then I also always send them a handwritten card. And then I put something in there, some little something in there, but I always send them a handwritten card and then give them a call after the transaction closes. So I do that.
Are you trying to book an appointment with the listing agent afterwards?
Well, see, that's where my business is a little bit different. So I don't go out of my way to book the appointment. What I do is I'm more of everything I do is long-term. So I will always have a long-term mindset. So when I get to know them, if I liked how the transaction went and I think they would be a good fit, what I do is I'm out in the field. So I don't take loan apps. I don't sit in the office. I don't even have an office in my office, right? When I go into my office, I go to the conference room. It's either to meet with an agent or I'll set my laptop down real quick to work. Otherwise, I'm out in the field. That's my job, is not to sit in the office. But part of that is I'm going on broker tours. I'm going out to offices. I'm going to see people. I'm involved in community events. So generally, most of the agents I end up seeing somehow, some way out.
Just out and
whether
about.
It be broker tour. Out and about something, because I'm around everywhere. So then if there's someone I want to know, I'll get to know them.
Interesting.
But I'm more selective.
Yeah, I like that. You're being selective. So if you have an experience with a listing agent on a transaction and you sense that, hey, this person is really professional, right? And then you maybe do a little, maybe you already know who they are, and you're like, you know what, I don't really have a relationship. You'll choose to pursue them based on kind of your perception of, do you want to work with them?
I do not work with anybody. They have to be a good fit with how my model works, and they have to get what I'm doing, because I can add a ton of value to their business and bring in a lot more business to them, but they have to buy in, and they have to be a good fit. We all have to work together. Life's too short to work with people who you're going to fight with all the time.
All right, so I'm gonna stay on this off video track for a second, because I think people listening want to know. So I'm looking at the numbers from Sales Mastery. It said for 2017 you're tracking about 100 units. Is that right?
Good. I already did. I mean, that was back in August.
Okay.
They asked.
I already did 100.
Yeah.
Where are you?
No. Well, my thing is, because this year at end of August I was like at 42 million. I'll probably be right near. Granted, these fires kind of threw things in a loop, but I should be near about 60 million in production this year. Yeah.
Wow, and over 100 units, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. So when somebody hears, "Hey, I'm never in the office. I'm just out and about, meeting and greeting," people are like, "Wait a minute, how the hell did you do that, man?"
Yeah. So. It's a combination of a little bit of luck, but also it's very systematic. So one thing is I work with my wife.
Yes, that's helpful.
No, totally. Because
or maybe not. Who knows, right? Depending on the relationship.
Yeah, you're right. No, if I sat in an office with her, that might be a different story, But
right.
But no, it's one of those things. She started as a processor, so she kind of has that underwriter processor mindset, but she also is a good salesperson. She just is. We're different. When we were both loan officers, so she started in the business before I did, and she got me into the business. So we realized at some point, and it was about 2009, and we said, you know what? I hate doing paperwork. I hate it with a passion.
Yep.
And she didn't like going out and going to broker tour and, doing all those open houses and all that stuff. That's not what she wanted to do. Yep. So we said, why don't we combine forces and work? Because we weren't working at the same company, with each other at the time.
Oh, okay. And
we said we were working at different companies. So she said, why don't we, we've had talked about it a long time. We said, we got to make this work. I know it's not probably, in the end of 2009, it wasn't a great time to go out on your own and essentially form your team. But we said at this point, we're either going to make it or we're not. But we need to do what we're passionate about. She is awesome on the paperwork, the underwriting, all that. And she's great meeting with clients. Where my strength is going out in the field and just bringing in business and the database and the video, marketing, all that stuff. So we finally formed the team. And so that came together so it was really March of 2010 is when we actually completely formed the team, all that. And we did. Since then, I've not taken a loan application, period.
How does that process work then? How do people take us through that?
Yeah. So basically what it is so she handles anything client related, she's going to handle. So if all of our agents we've trained that they call Patricia, not me. If they need business development, if they need database help, if they need marketing ideas, that kind of stuff, you call me.
Okay.
If it's client related, you call Patricia.
Okay.
And that's just all our agents just know to do that. And all our marketing and a lot of the stuff, I give both of our phone numbers, but if I ever have to, I always give Patricia's first. I mean, that's always the one that I want them to call.
Yeah.
It's not like I won't talk to clients, but I do not meet with them and I don't do the applications. That's Patricia's job.
Okay.
So Patricia does all that. And basically, she handled everything for a number of years until recently, as our production has grown. She handled everything. So she would meet with the client. She would do, pre-approvals, submit the app, make sure it goes through with the processor, all that kind of stuff. She dealt with that. And then I would go to the signings at the end. I always go to my signings. I think that's very important.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's one of those things. That's how we did it. Is she handled everything back end, I handled everything in the front end, and we stayed out of each other's ways.
Do you, when you say you go to your signings, do you find? I mean, depends on, I guess, what your goals are for your business. But is there a scalability concern there?
Yes and no. In terms of I mean, at some point it gets a little crazy. But this is the thing. For a lot of times, that is your excellent. You've got the agent, the buyer's agent, and the client in the room at the same time.
Right.
They're happy, they're excited, and you make it an awesome experience. And we try to have as many of our signings as possible in our office. And we make it a whole experience, from their name in the elevator to we have gifts, we have their name on the big screen, all that kind of stuff. We make it a real experience for them coming in, and it's really cool. And we do a lot more we do more than that, but we want to make it a really fun experience. But it's my final time to really glue with the client, and also to show the agent, remind them what an awesome transaction it was, how great it was, the experience that we bring to them and the client throughout the process. And it really ties it all together. And there's some clients, I mean, I have some doctors who, that work the graveyard shift that I never got to meet. This is my first time to actually meet them in person.
Right.
So, and to build that relationship. So when I see them around, I know who they are. They know who I am. I mean, they've seen the videos, but still, it's one of those things where to me, it's a bonding experience, and it is time well spent, because I have that close time with the agent and with the buyer to really build it. And my business is focused on taking care of my clients, because again, the last couple of years, the last 3 or 4 years, over 50% of my business has come from my database. So, I'm really focused on that.
And when are you, going for that referral? Is it at the signing desk, or what does that look like?
It's a mix. So, well, there's some where we let people know. We do, because we are different and the experience they go through us, we have a lot of clients that refer during the process.
Just automatic, because they love it so much, yeah.
Yeah, because we make it easy. We make the process easy. We make it different. We actually care about them. We show them we care. We do professional. Everything is done where you can tell you're working with a professional mortgage practice. You're not working with, Joe Schmo who doesn't care about you. So they get the difference. And especially first-time home buyers may not get it. They think it's amazing. But people who have gone through it before, they are the ones who just are like, wow, this is totally different. And they get it. And they just it happens intrinsically. But the other thing is, after, I always send handwritten cards, handwritten notes, give them a after closing call. And that's when I'll ask, hey, if you know anyone, that we can help, please let us know. And that's part of my touch-up process is, I'm touching base with my clients about 8 times a year, in one way or another. And then I do a huge client appreciation party every year. So I get all my top clients in a room with me in a fun celebration. And so you tie all that together, it just builds on itself.
Do you have any realtors that join you on that? Or is it just you and your client?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
No, most of my core group of agents are also my clients.
So
they've been through the experience with, they do their own business with me.
Right.
And so, they're there. But also, even if they haven't done business with me, if they've referred me business, they're going to be there, because as far as I'm concerned, my referral partners are my clients too.
Exactly.
So it's my clients and them. Yeah.
So you use the word core agents. How many would you say core agents, active, that are on your bus?
Well, no. So I only consider a core agent who refers me 100% of their business. I love them to death. They're like family or my close friends. Yeah. So there's 7. I have 7.
Okay. 7. And they're responsible for what percentage of your 60 million, let's call it?
80% of my business.
80%.
Yeah.
It's a good way to work.
Really, the 80% of my referred business, because again, a lot of my business comes from my database.
Yeah.
But no, they're huge, because this is the thing. If you have, and I think people forget, they want to work with every agent out there. But number one, it's better to be picky, because you work with people you have that synergy with, and then everything goes beautifully. They send you clients that are like-minded, birds of a feather, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a great way to build business.
Yep.
But the other thing is when those you have a small core group, you can spend a lot of time with them. It's Todd's rule. Todd, what does he always talk about? The 80-20 rule and everything, right?
Yep. Go deep versus wide.
80-20 and the 80-20. Exactly. So when you are able to spend a majority of your time with your core group, you build that tight knit relationship. You actually know who they are. You like them. You hang out with them. They're your friends. They're your almost like family.
Right.
You only need, if you have 7 good producing agents, that's all you need.
See, it's interesting.
You have 1s or 2s.
And I'm sure some LOs listen to that and they're just like, oh my God, come on, that's not possible, man. How am I?
It is. No, it is. And you talk, and this is the thing. I mean, you talk to someone, like Marty Preston, okay?
Yeah.
Marty is amazing. I mean, him and Ryan are two of the most amazing originators that I know, period. And just what they do. But if you ask Marty, how many core agents do you have? It's under 10. I mean, he's doing what, 70 million in personal production. It might be more. I don't want to undercut him, but he's a serious player.
Right.
And he doesn't have a million agents he works with.
Right.
He just focuses on his core group. And because if you understand, and this comes to Todd's thing, which you would be totally into, but if you work with, say you have 7 agents that refer you 10 deals a year, that's 70 deals right there.
Yeah.
Or you could work with 40 that maybe you could work with 40 agents that maybe you get, 10, 15 deals a year from, because you don't have a bond with any of them, right? So less is more.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I heard you say, you consider a core agent somebody you're getting 100% of their business of. And that's a big achievement. I'm sure that didn't happen overnight.
No, again, everything I do is long-term.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that because all I do is focus on our database and building relationships, is that I go on broker tour every week with my core group of agents. I see them at the broker tour. I see them at community events. I go stop by their office. If I don't see them, I'm always in their life, and they're always in my life.
Yeah.
So that it's more than just like a transactional business. It is a true relationship.
Right.
So you do it that way. Number one, life's so much better because you have people you work with who you love and you like. I mean, and you don't have. There's no loyalty issues. There's no business issues. Most of the time when I talk with them, I'm not talking about business.
Yeah.
Talking about their life.
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend? What's going on? This and this, and then we get into business. But it's about them first.
What I'm clearly hearing from you, and this is what I get. This is why I love the Todd Duncan community so much, is that you guys, you do look at it as it's a relationship business, but you're also investing in that relationship. Too many loan officers that I see with the big wide brush I have it's the relationship with the agents are all peripheral. And it's all transactional buzz. Hey, how did you got any buyers over the weekend? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And
yes.
I'm trying to help shift LOs away from that. And that's why I'm so glad we just had this conversation, because it's a proof point that 7 agents equate to you 80% of your business, referral business. Yeah. Yeah,
and that's the thing. And so, do I have 40 agents who send me deals over the year? Yeah, but they're onesie twosies. I mean, and they're not someone I'm spending any time with.
Yeah.
It's other than hi, how are you? Maybe do a phone call here and there. And it's not that I don't care about them, but my focus is on my core group, who they're good producers, and we bond.
Are you prospecting any new agents at this point that you want to add to the team?
Well, yeah, but it's very slow. So when I work with someone or when I meet with someone, I'm like, you know what? I think this person would be a good fit. And I've gotten to the point where I can tell very quickly if I think someone's going to be a good fit for us. But so one of the videos that I didn't show, because it's kind of a specific video, is I want to know how to, and kind of getting a little off track, but it goes to it, was how can I connect with an agent, a referral partner that I don't know, have no connection with, anything about that, anything, no connection, no one knows them, that kind of stuff. So that's where I use video.
Yes.
And I kind of talked about on stage where I was shooting a video to reach out to those agents like, hey, and the whole point was I figured an agent who all of a sudden got this beautiful package, the book, the note, the video that's specifically tailored to them about, I want to meet with you because I think you're doing some amazing things. Again, those agents and the kind of agent that has happened so far has called me right away and been like, no, we got to meet because I've never seen this before.
So
that was,
I know. And without getting you to reveal the secrets, what would an LO, what would be some typical things you would look at in preparing that video? I mean, naturally I'm thinking, I always, it's like, look, I want to be like a detective. I want to stalk them online, Facebook, find out their transaction, buyer versus seller, whole 9 yards. Then we need to present something in a contextual way that makes sense, I guess, on the video.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think yes, you're almost a spy. So I'm seeing their production. I know what they do, buyers, sellers. I know what lender they use, because a lot of those reports, I can see what lender they use.
MTA reports.
Exactly. Yeah. So I know exactly who they're using, and I know my competition also, what their strengths and weaknesses are. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And so, but I also am confident because, again, through the coaching, through my business over the years, I know that I can bring value to them. And I think what a lot of originators, and I had the issue with when I was first starting the business, you're kind of scared to reach out because you truly don't know what value you give people, right? Yeah. All you're talking about is rates, fees, programs. You can always tell the originators that don't have the confidence in themselves or newers because all they talk about is rates, fees, and programs.
Yeah, or we close in 6 minutes.
Yeah, which, I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, no one cares about at the end of the day, really, if you do it right. But if you know that you have true value to that person's life and you're different, you can absolutely bring value. And monetarily too. I mean, you can prove this to them how to do that. Then why be scared with talking with anyone you think would be a good fit because you know you can bring more value than the person they're using right now.
Okay, let me ask you this. Tell me if this is an example of the value you would bring or not. Yeah, let's split some Zillow leads.
So you did hear my yeah. So basically, Zillow to me is raking water, right? It's one of those things that I think is, it seriously is. It is total waste of time to me. I mean, you're getting clients that don't care about you generally. Yeah. They're looking for the lowest rate, lowest fees, and you're just a commodity. That's not how I do business, and that's not how I want to do business. You're spending a lot of money, get a ton of leads, and then what? You get 1,000 leads, you might get one person out of there, and you spent $5,000. That ROI doesn't make sense to me, right? Yeah. So I don't do Zillow leads. And that's one of the first conversations I have with a newer person who doesn't know a new referral partner that doesn't know how I work, is that I will bluntly say, look, I do not believe in Zillow. It's like raking water. And I go into the whole explanation of ROI and how your ROI can be so much better doing different activities and showing them how to do it. And the thing is, it's showing them based on how I do my business, right? And how I built my business has never been Zillow leads. I actually had an agent that sends me like 2 deals a year, just randomly send me a $50 a month Zillow thing. Didn't even ask me. I deleted that email. Yeah. I'm not even respond to that because they obviously ignored me. Right. But I don't believe in Zillow. I do not believe in Zillow. I think there's an opportunity out there if you're in a call center, cool. But, to build a true long-term business, which I think as this business goes more digital, the relationships at the end of the day become even more important. Right. And the thing is, like, you were probably there on the first day, and I forget his name. He does all the statistics. He was there the very first day of Sales Mastery. Yeah,
I know who you mean, but I was not there the first day, actually.
Okay. So anyway, but he was talking about what they were finding with millennials, though. So everyone was scared millennials are all digital. Right. They're finding millennials, they love word of mouth. Number one. Yep. So it's not just online, it's word of mouth is their big thing, but they want to go through an experience. They actually want to meet with somebody in person. They don't necessarily, they're seeing hugely that they don't want to go online. They do all their research, information shopping online and research online, but they actually want to meet with someone and they want to go through that experience, and they're great with word of mouth. Right. Yep. Nope. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, all right. So Zillow is like raking water. Can you share one example of how you would add value to an agent?
Yeah. So it's really simple. So I mean, with me, the biggest thing is I can show them. So I'm a database maven. I mean, really, I track my database. Again, that's why over 50% of my business comes from my database. What do you use, by the way, to manage your database? iDjungo.
Djungo. Okay, got it. I'm actually going to have them on the podcast in a few weeks.
Yeah, so when I actually used that, when I first got it, it was called MPC because I've been using it for 7 years now, since 2010. But it's one of those things I always tell someone, if the first thing when you get into the business, what is the first thing you should invest in? Number one, hands down, database. Yep. Period. Hands down. Yep. Pays for itself. So when I use that iDjungo, the thing is I track everything, right? And so I told you that I touch base with my clients 7 or 8 times a year, have the client appreciation party. I'm always in their lives. I'm there. So they just can't forget about me. I don't do Buffini pop buys or that kind of stuff because that stuff pisses me off. But well, I do. I don't like people showing us my house.
Unannounced. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's not my style. But I still want to be there in the background so they just don't forget about me. Yeah. It's one of those things where how I bring value, though, is I'm taking those. What is real estate agents? What is their number one problem overall? I mean, how many times do you see an agent with their magnet on a refrigerator and it's listed by another agent? I'm just saying, it happens all the time. All the time. And agents' big thing is almost no agents use a database, and they don't follow up, they don't follow through. Even on the Buffini program, they don't necessarily, a lot of them, well, they say they're Buffiniites, don't go to the nth degree that it takes to follow up, right? So I am their database. And the thing is over the years, and I always tell them, look, it sometimes takes a while. We got to do enough business. You send me 1 deal a year, I'm not going to be able to help you. But we're doing 10, 20 deals a year, I'm going to be able to help you. Because I follow up with those clients and the agents generally don't, when those clients refer a client to me, I track everything, so I know what agent it came from. So then when I go, hey, this client referred me Joe Smith, and you had referred me, the client who referred me Joe Smith, I'm going to get that lead back to them.
Right.
They don't even know that happened
Right.
because they aren't following up, or they don't even track it, so they don't even know who it's coming from. But I get them their clients back to them. I get them the referrals from the clients back to them. I mean, and over the agents have been working with me for a number of years. They see how many deals we do a year where I'm sending the clients to them, but it initially came from their client.
So is the conversation, something like, one of the ways I add value to my realtor partners is I help incubate, farm, cultivate, turnover leads of our joint database.
Yeah.
Are you looking for access to their database that you didn't work on?
No. You know what the thing is? Todd's talked about it. There are people that do that, and I get it. But this is the thing: is there's a lot of ideas out there that people talk about, but really implementing them, it doesn't work out so well. And most agents so number one, they don't have a database. Let's be realistic.
Exactly.
A lot of them, they're like note cards or their iPhone if they're lucky.
Yeah.
So there's no database to tap into. And if they actually are savvy enough to have a good database, they're not sharing it. Because you think I would share my database with anyone? No. That's your gold mine.
Yeah.
So if you have an agent that wants to do that, in my area, we have a lot of very tech savvy people.
Yeah.
Just being near Silicon, the whole Bay Area. Mm-hmm. But the agents I found that have a database are not going to share. So I don't even go there because I wouldn't want to share my database.
Okay. So you're just saying the business we do together, I can generate X amount of additional business by okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm just realistic. Now, I'm not saying someone could go out there and have an agent that gives them their whole database. That's awesome. It's just not necessarily my style and how I found. I don't want to come off as I'm just trying to hammer this agent. I want their, get in their database. I want all their information. I want to control them because that's not. Right. I want to show how I add value to the clients we work with together.
And when you're presenting, you're giving this presentation to an agent. Mm-hmm. Is just you talking? Or do you have like any kind of visuals that go with it?
Oh yeah, no. There's a whole presentation I put together. That's on when we sit in our conference room. The big screen has all the visuals.
Got it.
So I'm showing them what I'm talking about.
So you'll show them a screenshot of Django or whatever and all that.
Oh, totally.
Mortgage coach,
all that stuff. But also, but I also let the presentation go where it needs to go. Right. There's some people that have a set like. There's how the core coaching. So Rick Ruby's group. Mm-hmm. They usually have like a set of questions they'll ask the agents before they meet with them. What I try to do is I try to differentiate myself where I just have a conversation with them initially because I want to just get them to get who to know. I want to get to know them, right? Yeah. And then what I do is I ask them, well, where can I help you or what's going on? Or I'll just hear them say something. I'm like, wait, I heard you say this. I have a solution for that. Right. Or let's talk about this more. So I do more of an investigative kind of digging in as opposed to automatically coming in with the same set of 4 or 5 questions. Mm-hmm. I try to make it, I do make it more personal because, again, I'm not a transactional person. I'm a relationship person. That's why I'm in Duncan Coaching because I do totally 100% believe in real relationships.
Yeah. Are you then doing any co-marketing?
Minimal. So that's the thing. And this is probably, I don't mean to piss anyone off, but I always believe that the more advertising you do in our business, the worse you are at your job.
What do you mean?
Because if you are doing an amazing job with your current clients and your current referral partners, you don't have to do any advertising. The snowball effect just happens. Mm-hmm. It just does. I mean, in my business is proof. I spend maybe $500 a year in actual marketing.
Really? Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. My money is spent on my current clients, my database, my current clients, and that appreciation party. And anything I do for them, it's not spent on trying to get new clients. It's to take care of my current clients who then send me new clients.
It's funny when I hear you talk like you have been for the last 10 minutes, and thank you for that great share. And anybody who sits in the room at a Duncan event, it always comes back to, and I don't mean to beat this, horse, but it always comes back to, what's the experience you're creating? You know what I mean? And you are very intentional about creating, because everything we're talking about here, that's why I asked you about the visuals. Are you showing because that's a different experience than sitting around a coffee and it's like, well, here's what I do. I do this. And that. You know what I mean? It's got to be that 5-star experience, like from soup to nuts. And that's what I think is really making the difference for your success rate with the agents and with your ability to activate your database.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's what it is. It is about having an experience. Mm-hmm. And that's a big key word, but that means you have to totally believe in that. That's important. Yeah. And everything in your business has to be on the experience. Everything. Smallest things.
How, I don't know if you can answer this, but how much thought, maybe when it was originally done or maybe consistently, do you put into architecting that experience?
That is what I do. I'm always adjusting. I'm always changing it. So if I had you're always tweaking it, because I had an originator talk to, and they're like, you know what? When clients come into my office, I have a menu for drinks, snacks, everything like that. And part of the experience, I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I created a menu. We went and loaded up the refrigerator and the cabinets, so we have snacks and drinks and everything they could ask for. So when the client comes in, my assistants give them a menu, ask them if they need anything. I mean, bring them. We have nice silverware and dishes to serve it to them. I mean, again, that's a little thing, right? Most people be like, that's kind of stupid. What are you doing? But you don't get it. When it's part of that whole experience, and someone who has dealt with an originator who they walk into a bank, a big bank, and they're like, yeah, how can I help you? Okay, sit down, whatever, and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
But they come to my office and the experience is totally different. And again, it's basically for the same price. Do you want to stay at Motel 6 or the Four Seasons?
Yeah. And I'm wondering how much you think or believe, and you probably have evidence to this, that experience lessens the price conversation.
Oh, huge. No, that's the whole thing is when you're focused, when they've been referred to you by past clients or agents that refer the heck out of you. I mean, they believe in you. It's not just how you talk to my person. It's you're talking to my people. They are amazing. So totally different mindset. The wording is different. Same thing with the clients. When they're referring me a new client, they rave about us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of it. And so when the people come to us, they're already like, okay, these people think you're amazing, who I respect. And then they go through the experience. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're always, if anyone tells you they never get shopped or prices, I'm sorry, they're lying. That happens. Yeah. But does it happen nearly as much as it happened when I was an initial originator starting learning, when it was all about price and product? No. I mean, that's the thing. You might have, I don't know, one or two a month that talk to you like that. But for the most part, no, it's about how can we help them?
One last question on the customer experience, and we'll transition back to video for the last few minutes. But do you have people take an online app before they come in?
So Ryan Grant's given me so much heartache. No, I haven't, because I wanted kind of what we do is we have them send the paperwork to us and we do the application, right? Because when you get the online applications, 90 to 100% of the time, really, they're wrong. I mean, what they think is their income is not their income.
Right.
And that's why, some of those, we'll just call them the explosion or airplane loans or whatever you want to call them out there, the different type of loans where the clients can put whatever information they want in there and, I got approved. Well, yeah, but I can put in that I make $1 million a year and get approved too, but that doesn't mean I can actually do it. So I always had that personal experience where I wanted the clients to send it to us and we make it as easy and simple as possible for them. Because, and this is getting the millennial thing, millennials want it convenient and easy. Right. That's what they want.
And the assumption is that includes online app.
Exactly. But when you just say, here, send me your documents, you're going to have to send me anyhow or upload them, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to take care of the application. I'm going to take that off your plate and do it for you. Is part of that experience that we make it easy for them. And that is what we try to make it. So I don't, but that doesn't mean I won't try it. I just haven't done it at this point.
Do you, I lied about the last question, but do you, when you're taking that in-person app, do you ask questions outside of just the questions on the 1003?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. We don't, because we're not taking a 1003 when we're asking them, when we meet with a client or on the phone conversation, we're asking them about their hopes, dreams, and goals. We want to make sure that we're able to fit the mortgage to who they are, right? I mean, we really want to make sure that we are their advisor. We want to make sure that we do the right thing for them and put them in the right position, because a 30-year fix might not make sense for someone who's leaving in 5 years. I mean, so we have those in-depth conversations, yeah.
Such as, like, do you have kids going into college or whatnot? Or,
yep.
Yeah, graduation,
all that stuff
retirement.
To figure. Yeah. What are your dreams? Like, where do you see? I mean, sometimes depending on the client, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what is your plan, or what's going on with your job? Or
questions
what's going on
they
with your
don't
family?
usually get from most LOs.
Totally, but it's also a conversation. A lot of the questions we embed automatically at this point in the conversations without us even thinking about it. That kind of highlights.
And I like what you said. It's a conversation. It's not like a checklist at a doctor's office.
Nope.
Show me where. It's a conversation, which means slow down, engage, connect.
Totally, and that is why I didn't want to do that, because I wanted someone to be focused in terms of Patricia's case, to be able to sit down with the client, have that in-depth conversation with them, because that's what she's focused on. She's not focused on where's our next deal coming from. She is focused on what can I do to help the clients. And that's a different kind of thing.
Yes, and it's all under the umbrella of the Michael Regan team.
Yeah, it's all the Regan team. Absolutely. Okay. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, cool. Thank you for that. That was an education right there, by the way. So last couple questions on video real quick. I know at the conference you mentioned you have a video that basically makes it easy for the realtor to refer you. which deals with, and I don't know if you said this or somebody else, the big problem with realtors is they either do the 3-card thing or they're like, oh yeah, give Michael there's no setup.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So that was the whole thing. Again, it's all about the details. And so you're solving problems as they come up and you think about them. So, the biggest thing is, okay, when an agent refers you, if they're your core group, training them on how to say or building that trust with them so they just refer the heck out of you. But some agents aren't great with the wording or how to get that across. So what I wanted to do is on my core group, I would shoot a cross-sell video so that they could send to the referral. So when they were referring me someone, instead of just saying, hey, talk to my lenders, if that was their style, that they could actually send a video with it that's me cross-selling really the agent. So the video is ultimately about the agent. And right, everyone has an ego, so they all want it to be about them.
Yes.
So when I do the video about them, so I'm telling the clients how great this particular agent is, how they're wonderful, they're awesome, whatever it is about them, but it's actually true. What I tell about them is I specifically, no, but I tailor that video to that agent. Like if someone is the president of some association, I'm going to mention that, right? Or if they're big into kids or horses or whatever it is, I'm going to tell them because I know them. I know what their passions are. I'm going to tell them, what's going on. So basically what I'm doing in this video is cross-selling the agent to the client. Right. But then at the end, I'm just putting a little blurb about, hey, by the way, we work as a team. I'd love to work with you, whatever I say. But I put just a little bit about me, and it's like a minute-long video. Right. It's not long.
And so
it's mostly about the agent.
Sorry, the way you get agents to send that is you record it first, and then, hey, let me show you. And then they're like, oh, my God, yeah, I'll send this.
Totally. No, but that's the thing. I'll have a conversation with like, hey, I have this great idea. Yeah. What do you think about it? Yeah. And then you can tell if an agent's like, whatever, then that's not an agent. I'm going to waste my time. I'm not going to do it because they're not going to do it. They don't buy it. Yeah. But you get those people who buy in and they're like, well, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Then I have the conversation. Is there something specific you want me to mention or whatever? And I'll do the script. Then I'll shoot the video and I always send it to them, obviously. And then they'll be like, great. And then they'll start using it. And the cool thing is I do on an unlisted YouTube link. So I can tell how many times that agent has shared that video and how many times it's been watched. Right. So it's kind of a cool. I try to track everything to make sure what's working, what's not working, what I need to tweak, what I need to change. You have to track everything.
So for your videos then, like did they go out in an email? Is it just a hyperlink to that video?
Yeah, no, I don't use BombBomb. I mean, and this is the agent sending the video, so I have to be realistic. Most agents aren't using BombBomb or something like that. So I will give them the link. I will kind of set up the email. So they just have to press, it's like click here kind of thing.
It's in their box somewhere, right?
It's in their box. Yeah. The emails, I already do the email for them, kind of set it up, and they can tweak it to their personal. Right. And then they just have it sitting there, and then they forward that email to the client. So it's a script. You're already done. But then they tweak it to that specific client.
So basically the lender's situation. Or the agent's like, yeah, actually, let me introduce you to my lender. I'll send you an email. Within there's a video. Click and watch it.
Yep. Okay. There you go. Yeah. That's it.
That's nice. Yeah. That's very efficient. Very efficient. And that really sets the stage for the conversation they're going to have with you. All right. So let's see. I need my glasses for the last couple of questions here. Old man here.
No problem.
How many videos do you have in your milestone process, like during a loan transaction?
So that's a really good question. You should I'm
should have prepped you for that.
Have. Yeah, no. It's all good. I've got them actually. Give me 1 second. I can pull them up and count.
Just ballpark's fine.
Yeah, no, I've got let's see, one.
You've got
2,
8 loan steps. I see
3,
here.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, no, that's it. So I've got 8 loan steps. So basically, I've got I've got the promo video, obviously, but once you get in the loan steps, I've got loan submitted, appraisal ordered, loan approved, appraisal in. Final loan approval, loan docs ordered, loan docs at title, loan funded, congratulations. And then, of course, I have the congratulations and thank you to the realtor.
And those are all unlisted on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, those are all private videos because Okay.
Yeah. And so that's just in the template email that goes out on all loans that's at that stage. Okay. All right. So that's pretty easy to do for somebody on your team. Just part of the process is...
That was what it was, is I did the videos, we did the templates. So literally my my PAs can just copy and paste and tweak it obviously to the client's name, in any specific details, but it's super done for them. So I don't have to worry about what they're saying something that I don't want them to or getting into too much detail. It's all there for them. Videos there, boom, done.
Okay, very cool, very cool. That is awesome,
Yeah.
man. I mean, just that alone is a great way to, as you said, leverage. You know, what I mean,
Yep.
well, we don't have time to go into it right here because we talked a lot longer than we planned. That's because
It's all good.
this got so interesting. So, if you don't mind, can I share like a link to your YouTube page so people can look at your videos?
Yeah, no,
public
totally.
ones?
Because anything that's on YouTube is I allow to be public. So
Because your promo video is on there, the one you invested in.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
Promo
is-
video is on there.
Yeah, which you're walking around town, you're meeting and greeting, and really sets up the stage of like you're active in your community, which is extremely important.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then for you, you know, I always am a big believer in talking about what you're really passionate about. And so you are on the board, the president, actually, shouldn't say it, you're actually the president
Yeah.
of the Petaluma Educational Foundation. Is that it?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
right.
it. Yes.
So
yes.
tell us a little bit about that. And is there any way we can help and support on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the Petaluma Educational Foundation, it's kind of unique around the country is that we actually support every school from basically kindergarten through high school in the city of Petaluma. So it could be a charter school. It could even be a private school. It just can't be a nonprofit, or excuse me, a for-profit school. So, you know, there's a Catholic private school in town. We support them. I mean, if they need, you know, we do two things. We give out scholarships
Yep.
to the kids. And right now, so the organization's been around for about 20-ish years. We've given $3 million, over $3 million in scholarships to the kids, kids just in Petaluma schools. And then we do grants. So the schools can come to us for a grant for up to $15,000 to fund something that's curriculum based. So maybe they need, whatever they need. Maybe they have they want to do this new cool garden and they need a greenhouse to go in the garden because they're doing science, a whole science lesson now. That school is built around that garden and that kind of stuff. So we'll fund up to $15,000 to do that. And they come to us for the money. We vet them. We go through the whole process. And if they're awarded, we give them up to a $15,000 grant. And we've also, in the history of PF, given over $3 million into that. So total is over $6 million that we've given back to the community in Petaluma since I believe it was 1982 or 83, something like that.
82.
So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. So a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of that
pretty
is just from the fundraising activities that you're involved in.
100%. I mean, that's the thing is, it's all. So we get no government funding, nothing back. It's all from the community and from people donating. And then, of course, our big bash that we have every year.
So why is that a passion project for you?
Huge. So both my parents were teachers, or they're now retired. So education was not something that was even optional for me. I mean, you were going to be a good student. You were going to go to college. Education was always important to me. So I grew up with that, but I actually believed in it. I mean, I saw, how much it helped people and how big a difference it makes. I mean, I see that with my little ones right now. When I sit down and read with them and things like that, it makes a huge difference in their lives and them. So I believe it's important. And if I can support people and amazing teachers doing amazing things, and if they need some extra equipment and we can give it to them to do some amazing thing with the kids, I mean, how's that not a good thing? I mean, and it goes directly to the kids.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, my son goes to a charter school that's out of the way for us to go, but it's worth it to go there. Yeah, that's awesome.
Totally.
Very cool. So we'll definitely. And by the way, are there any realtors? I'm just curious. Naturally, I'm sure there's some realtors that are involved with you in that.
There are a few, but the funny thing is actually the realtor that is in there, who I love, I do not work with.
Interesting.
But some of the other people are clients of mine. I'll just put it that way. So yes, I do have other people, but they're in other professions because there's only one real estate agent in that group right now.
Well, I guess, the last point on that would be, and I talk about this when we do this branding event for realtors, and I talk about showing up in your community and connecting your passion to your profession. And most people keep it as a secondary outside. Oh, I do this food bank over here, but I never really combine the two.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds like what I'm hearing from you. It's important to bring that to the surface, and it's okay. People are okay with it.
Totally. Yeah. No, absolutely. But I mean, I support if you believe in it. If you're doing it just because you think you have to do it and I need to be involved, so I'll be involved, that's not the right way to do it. No. But if you actually love it and you're passionate about it, then it's awesome. Because again, you meet people that are passionate, and birds of a feather again comes to that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you sharing so much. Sorry to go a little bit longer than we planned.
Yeah, it's all good. All good.
I just felt that there was tons of great stuff to share in there. So, as I said, I'll put a link to the show notes to your YouTube page so they can see the videos, to the foundation you're involved with, and hopefully drive some awareness and maybe some additional funds to be raised there. So, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
No, thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bet. Awesome. Thank you. And so, listeners, as always, thank you for being here and appreciate you tuning in. And as always, make it a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.